Hey guys, just finished watching Gotham, season 4, episode 4, Dark Knight, the Demon's Head. Um, this episode was pretty interesting, pretty fun and stuff like that, with dealing with the whole knife fiasco and stuff like that, and James Gordon learning a lot about Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, if I'm not mistaken. But it was pretty interesting to see how Jim kind of figures this all out and all these different characters in this thing. And there was these weird henchmen of Ra's al Ghul that they had just in this episode, not set up anything like that, and they both die in this episode, which I'm kind of glad they're done with, they're over with, because they're kind of silly and stuff like that. Like, it's interesting that Ra's al Ghul would definitely have the characters like that and have people like that, and it makes sense and stuff. Really distinguishes this version of Ra's al Ghul as very different than the one over on Arrow and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be interesting to see more and more of this guy and how he deals with him, how they deal with him in prison and stuff, and what's going to happen in next week's episode, especially with the trailer showing Bruce Wayne going after him in prison and stuff. And it's going to be cool to see where things go with this and see that. And I like it that James Gordon is finding out a lot about this right away. Everyone's finding out a lot about him right away in the first few episodes rather than later on in the season and stuff. So I feel like it's going to really be cool to see that. Everything feels like it's picking up very fast, and I kind of like that idea for this. But it also gets me interested to see what's going to happen. What are they leaving left? What's going to be at the end of the season? What's going to be for episode 23, 24, or 20 or something like that. How many episodes we're supposed to have for this season, I'm not sure. But it's going to be cool to see things continue on and see things build up with this. So it was pretty cool with that. And we also have Sophia Falcone involved here, and that's going to be cool to see how she slowly builds up her position with Nigma and stuff like that. What's it called, the Penguin, and how things are going to build up with that, and how she's going to slowly integrate herself in that. Because I'm not too sure if I'm interested in her character or not. Although I found her relationship with Bruce, with James Gordon, to be a little weird. It's going to be definitely interesting to see where things go with that, but it just kind of feels like it's forced a little bit, but just feels like out of nowhere. And yeah, they had that one, she was flirting with him, in the last episode on the beach and all that stuff, but that was about it. And now it just feels very weird. It feels like him just kind of looking for a booty call type of thing. So I don't know. It just kind of is going to be interesting to see where that goes. It's also, if we get Miranda Bakker to return as Leslie Thompson, and that's going to be cool to see where that goes with that, and how she comes back in love with Jim, and she finds Jim with Sophia Falcone, and then Sophia Falcone attacks, and stuff like that. That's going to be cool to see how that interaction would be and stuff like that. I think it's going to be cool to see where things build up with that and see how things turn around and stuff. So it's going to be fun to see where things go. I'm not sure how I feel about her character or her or the relationship and all that stuff. It's a little annoying, but things could definitely start building up and stuff. And it's interesting that Bullock wasn't in this episode, and we got this replacement and stuff. So it's gonna be cool to see how long that's for, and if is it for is there a reason? Is Donald I forget his Donald Glover or something like that, whatever. And is he gone for something? Is he doing something else? Is there I don't know. It just seems a little bit. All of a sudden he's just gone. It's just explained for one reason. That's it. No reason and stuff. And it's just like, okay, why? I really don't. I need to be more than that. I mean, if the actor's busy doing something else, cool. I get that, but. I don't know. It just seems a bit weird that Bullock is just not there. I mean, have someone else from the past that we know be in charge. I think it'd be interesting to have a character, from the comic books come in and replace him. Then we'd be like, oh, who cares about Bullock? We got this guy for a little bit. That's gonna be cool. It would have been cool if you had someone known. From the comics, from this or that. I mean, yeah, this character might be from the comics, but it's not anyone of substance, of weight from the comics or anything like that. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes and how long until he comes back. But I'm really excited to see from the trailers, as in the next week's episode, we get Solomon Grundy, and it looks like he'll be Solomon Grundy and straight up and stuff. That'll be fun to see that. And we still haven't seen what's going on with Poison Ivy. I mean, we saw her 2 episodes ago take all those magic pills, which magic spells things, which again I went into detail on that, how that was kind of silly the way she transformed, but the fact that she is transforming and we haven't even seen her yet, God, I mean, how long are they going to wait? Although it would be a cool idea to see her come back in next week's episode, dealing with Butch as Solomon Grundy and having maybe her for her full-on powers fighting Solomon Grundy. That would be an awesome way to bring her back. Although why we haven't seen her in a few episodes is weird. Where is she? Is she in a coma somewhere? Whatever. If she is, show us in a little bit of a coma. Although I guess a 3-episode coma wouldn't really be much of a coma, But I'm just saying it would just be cool to see Poison Ivy fighting full-on comic book version of Poison Ivy fighting Solomon Grundy and stuff. So it's going to be fun to see where that goes, and hopefully we get that fight in next week's episode, because that could be really cool. It would be really fun to see that. And it's going to be interesting to see where Bruce kind of evolves and stuff like that, and where he goes in next week's episode. I could see them maybe killing off Bruce at one point, and then during this season, and then maybe kind of reviving him with the Lazarus Pit or something like that. Like maybe he stays dead for a couple of hours, and then Alfred drops him in the Lazarus Pit, because we have seen that. That's what happened with Alfred, right, in the last season and stuff. I think that would be cool to see that, and see what type of version of Bruce we get out of the Lazarus Pit and stuff like that. So, and then could tweak some things with him, and give him a little bit more of an edge. I don't know. It'd just be cool to see that, and see how that would affect him, and how that would affect Batman himself and stuff like that. So that would be cool. So we'll have to wait and see. I think if we get that, we'd probably get that as like a mid-season final type thing. And that's when we would go into that for the half of the season. I could see that being around there. So it's going to be fun to see where things go with this. I definitely can't wait to see what this knife does when it's actually being used and stuff, and how things are going to go. And see how how Butch coming back as Solomon Grundy, what is that going to do for this whole storyline? How is this going to affect, and what is Ra's al Ghul going to think of having Solomon Grundy around? Hopefully we get Poison Ivy and stuff, and it would be cool to see Ra's al Ghul, controlling, using Solomon Grundy as his puppet type thing, and kind of controlling him and stuff like that, and playing with him. I think it would be really cool to see him, sending him on missions and doing this and doing things, and how smart version is this Solomon Grundy? I mean, I remember the one from the Justice League cartoons. He was kind of smart, like you could send him to go rob that bank. He'll go rob that bank, come back. Things, very simple things, but not not too dumb to be able to have to do anything. I kind of think it would be cool to see how they play with that, and how much we get of Butch, and also what we didn't see anything of Kat in this episode. We didn't see anything of what is it? I forget her name, but Tigress or something like that. Who I think it's I forget her name, but the sister, the one guy from the third last season and stuff. So it'd be cool to see her interactions with that, and how what she thinks of Butch and stuff as Solomon Grundy and all that stuff. And I imagine that we're going to see them definitely in next week's episode. If we're going to get Solomon Grundy, Butch returning, he would want to go back to the girl he loves and stuff like that. So that'll be cool to see how that goes there. So yeah, definitely it's exciting for the next week's episode. But in this episode was pretty good, a lot better than last week's episode. There's things that happened, Bruce got blamed kind of for this murder type thing, or feels the blame for it. And yeah, that's going to be fun to see where things go. So really a lot more things happen in this episode, which is kind of good, kind of fun to see that there. So yeah, this is a cool episode. So let me know what you think, guys, about all these in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?